Hello, our topic is Taurus, and specifically issues that come up in relationships for Taurus. And my focus here is on close relationships, close friends, and romantic and marriage partners. And many issues that come up in relationships are related to how we function, how we operate as individuals. And the zodiac signs tell us a lot about a person's orientation to life and how they work. So what makes strong Taurus? Rising sign. If your rising sign is Taurus, Taurus is strong. That's how important the rising sign is. The sun sign and moon sign are also important, and for relationships, the sign of Venus is also important. And at the very end of this presentation, I will talk briefly about the differences between these. And I'm talking specifically about the tropical zodiac signs. I believe the sidereal signs are also valid, but they work differently. And here we're talking about the tropical zodiac signs, the signs that are most common in modern Western astrology. Now, what happens for Taurus in relationships? The issues that come up are often related to timing. Number one, Taurus has a reputation for being stubborn. So here's a big timing issue, like you can't get this Taurus person to move. You say, hey, let's go to the movies. No clear response. Well, gee, I'm really not in the mood. Come on, man, when are you ever in the mood? So people often feel frustrated by Taurus because they seem stubborn. Even the words like procrastinating are used, or even that they're lazy. So these are issues that come up a lot with Taurus. Interestingly, if you know Taurean people, more as colleagues, as friends you see once in a while, Taurus is very often well loved by other people. They tend to be gentle. But when you're up close and personal with Taurus, this issue of stubbornness comes up over and over again. But there's something deeper going on with what appears to be just a stubborn, obstinate nature. And all of the zodiac signs have a deeper spiritual purpose. And when you understand what's going on, it makes it much easier to deal with. Now, let me give you a kind of a visualization, an image of what is going on with Taurus. Taurus is related to the inherent, built-in intelligence of nature. Think about all the things that nature does without our need to consciously think about them. Our bodies know how to digest food. Our lungs know how to breathe. Plants know how to grow towards the sunlight. The great majority of things that go on in life happen instinctively and automatically without us needing to analyze it consciously. And what Taurus is really about at a deeper level, and this deep level of how the zodiac signs work, is often not clearly conscious to the person. But what is actually happening, and you might say a more unconscious level, is that Taurus is trusting the instinctive intelligence of nature. And Taurus instinctively distrusts decisions that are made primarily from a conscious mental analysis. And as I said, unfortunately, most Taurus people are not able to articulate this. So these zodiac signs work from this, you might say, spiritual dimension or higher dimensional level, and they work through us, but we're not always conscious of exactly what's going on. And so the Taurus person, the person with Taurus rising, or a lot of inner planets in Taurus, is not responding to life primarily by what you're saying and the logic. Taurus is feeling it. They're absorbing it. They're instinctively responding to things. And this is why they appear stubborn, because they're not responding directly to the thoughts, to the analysis. They're feeling it, they're intuiting it, and they're sensing the right timing. So all zodiac signs are these deeply ingrained qualities, this way of approaching life that often the person is not completely aware of or not able to articulate. But this is the process that's actually happening. So you ask a person to go to the movies, they can be slow to respond. And you can easily get the impression that Taurus is just slow. I mean, they're stubborn, they're slow, they're like rocks, they're like tanks that just move very slowly. And it can feel like there's this heavy weight holding them, that there's this inertia that is frustrating. And that's why Taurus is often well liked by friends who are not extremely close, not living with them, because they feel things, they bring it into themselves. It's a gentle process. But in personal relationships, it can feel like they're unresponsive. Okay, so what's going on with Taurus is it's feeling and sensing like the plant kingdom, just quiet and still and unfolding. And this instinctive intelligence of nature that Taurus is attuned to does not work in a vacuum. So Taurus seeks the right mood, the right atmosphere, to sense what is right, and so they can think clearly. Very often, the Taurus person, this person with a lot of Taurus in their chart, they often like their cup of tea, their cup of coffee. They may like to have a large window or even a balcony, soft lights or music. This often gets interpreted as, oh, Taurus wants its luxury. They're very sensual. But actually what's going on is they're attuning themselves to this gentle, natural force of nature to feel it just right. And what you'll often notice is that what they are liking is not really excessively plush and soft. Sometimes the Taurus just wants the tea, doesn't like it overly sweet. There's this image that Taurus always wants chocolate cake and ice cream. There are some Taurean people like that, but actually the great majority are looking for this natural energy and this attunement to get in the mood so that they can feel things and intuit them and sense what is the right thing to do. You know what we do with zodiac signs is we trivialize them. We make caricatures out of people and we put them in boxes. And we have this image of Taurus, oh, it's so sensual, it's so physical, it's so obstinate. And we're actually distorting and exaggerating what's going on, and we're not feeling the inner process of what is really happening. And this is a problem with all 12 zodiac signs. And there's just enough truth to our descriptions of Taurus. Taurus is sensitive to the environment, to what's tangible and real. And so it's just true enough that we can feel like our theory that Taurus is so materialistic, so inundated, so tremendously colored by their need for rich foods and desserts and their soft couch and bring them their slippers and this whole image that I think is actually not usually true. Think about your friends who have a lot of Taurus. Are they really this way? Maybe a few of them are. I think most of them are not. There's just a little bit of truth to it that they do respond to the quality of things. Now, how do you deal with a Taurus who's being stubborn? Suppose you want to go to the movies and you're really excited about it, and you go up to your Taurus friend and you say, hey, there's this great movie tonight. I've had a long day. In fact, I've had a long week. I really want to go with it. I'd love for you to come with me. Let's go to the movies. And then you get this kind of slow response. What do you do? Well, remember that Taurus is feeling this situation. You can phrase it in terms of timing. You can say, hey, do you feel like you're ready to go to the movies? Or are you so deeply into one of your projects? Or is this a good time for you to take a break? Oh, this really clicks for Taurus, because now you're talking about timing. You're talking about how they work. It shows that you appreciate what's going on with them, and you'll connect much better. Also, check out how long that movie's playing. Is it going to be showing next week, the following week? Be aware of what the timing is, what the opportunities are, what the open window is. So you can say to your friend, okay, if you're really busy, it's showing for just 2 more weeks. Maybe next week will work better. I mean, I'm really in the mood for it now. But hey, if it's not right for you, maybe next week. Something like that. The timing, the sensitivity to what's going on. This is how you really connect with Taurus, and how Taurus will more likely compromise, more likely say, you know what, I'm really into what I'm doing, but I can sense that you want to go tonight. Okay, let's go for it. You're going to communicate much better when you're talking about timing, the natural timing, the slow unfolding. Another way you can think of this is that Taurus has an instinctive Taoist perspective. The sense of the Tao, of the way, of the movement and the flow of energy, and how things meet and come together. This is the instinctive intelligence of Taurus, often overlooked as we trivialize what Taurus really is. So decisions are made by feeling out the situation, not just a logical and analytical approach. And remember that Taurus is sometimes not able to verbalize what they are sensing. And this makes it even more frustrating for the other person, because they just not quickly responding, not willing to change rapidly, not willing to just do something on the spur of the moment that's out of the flow of what they're into. That's okay. That's how Taurus is made to work. But what can make it even more infuriating is they may not be able to explain what's going on. So it's just something to be aware of, to get into this intuition, this feeling of things, and resonate with the other person. And remember that Taurus is a process of listening. They're taking in what you're saying. If you're with a Taurean person and you're watching, let's say you use this movie concept again, you're watching a movie. Most Taurean people really dislike when you start talking during the movie. Taurus is quiet, receptive, absorbing, listening. We don't often recognize that Taurus is about listening, receiving, and absorbing. And they will take in a large amount of information before they make a decision. So, this way that Taurus operates makes it difficult for Taurus to explain itself all the time or to defend their decision. and then they just look like they're being obstinate, or lazy, that they're procrastinating, when actually something is working and trying to unfold. And you know what? Taurus will surprise you when all of a sudden they decide to do something. They will decide, oh, I'm ready to move. I'm ready to do this. And you go, what? Now you're ready to do it? I've been trying to talk you into this. It's about timing. It's actually not true that they're just going to sit there stagnant forever. It's going to happen, and sometimes they surprise you. And this gets even more frustrating for people, because here they are not responding. Then all of a sudden they decide they want to do something. It's a matter of getting in the flow. Okay. So another way to appreciate what's going on with Taurus is the way this fellow Michael A. Singer, author of The Untethered Soul and The Surrender Experiment, these two books, he points out that, things that we do as humans, we'll get very upset because the person in front of us is driving slow, or it's raining today. And we can actually get very upset about it, as if we're the center of the universe, and the only thing that's important is that we're trying to get from point A to point B, and someone in front of us is driving slowly, or we had plans for today and it rains. We can often lose perspective of the huge span of time, of nature, of the solar system forming, of the earth forming, of things cooling down, of vegetation starting, of the evolution of different animals, of the development of different cultures, and how this huge, enormous natural system is going on, and we are just one little tiny part of it. And this is the wisdom of Taurus, that we are embedded in this large organic unfolding process. And by the way, Mr. Singer has, his sun sign is Taurus, and he's able to articulate the wisdom of Taurus and how it's such an important understanding for all of us. All 12 signs bring a wisdom. They bring something vitally important. And we all benefit by better appreciating it. And a lot of harm, I think, is actually done when we trivialize the signs and we put them in boxes and we lose a sense of what's going on. So these are some of the things to be aware of with Taurus and relationships. This information can really help you in your relationships with Taurean people. And if you are a person with a lot of Taurus, to deepen your understanding of what's going on with you and what can help you move forward. So, if you have Taurus rising, people are sensitive about their rising signs. With Taurus rising, it's especially common that issues of timing, of you feeling pushed, of you feeling that someone's forcing you to do something when you're not ready, come up over and over and over again. And the other person may wonder, why do you feel like I'm pushing you? And what's going on underneath it all is neither person is doing anything wrong. It's just that we all function in different ways. And Taurus is being pushed when the decisions are made in a more purely analytical way without feeling what's going on. The sun sign is your way of being. With the sun sign, the energy of that sign tends to be more conscious, more clear, and more present. It's less vulnerable and less sensitive, but it's still vitally important. And each zodiac sign ultimately is going to insist on living life the way that's right for them. And in the end, the Taurus sun sign is going to seek out a life where it can build things, where it can grow things, where it can develop things. Taurus is a great builder. They're gardeners, they're builders. They can be intellectual builders. They can build software. They can build so many things because that process of unfolding and developing one piece after another is the way that they work. Not by abrupt, erratic decisions, not by interruptions. Taurus dislikes interruptions. It gets in a flow. Now with the moon sign is an automatic, built-in, instinctive way of responding to life. And moon in Taurus is where you can have the most difficulty with the person appearing to be very stubborn, because it's an ingrained, more unconscious way of being in tune with the natural flow of life. And Venus shows what's attractive to us. Venus is attracted to Taurean things. Venus is attracted to people who do not argue, who do not just erratically come up with things, or people who overly intellectualize. Venus in Taurus is drawn to the natural unfolding beauty. Usually they love flowers. They appreciate gardens. They love things that are nicely built. Things made like a musical instrument made with a very beautiful wood, or a building that's made very nicely. They appreciate the time, the dedication, the unfolding, the sensitivity that's involved to develop something beautifully and naturally. So I hope this helps, because we're told that if your boyfriend or girlfriend is Taurus, just feed them lots of chocolate cake and ice cream and give them a back rub and put them in front of the TV on a soft couch and get their slippers, and the sensuality and the physicality that just turns Taurus on. It's true a little bit for some Taurean people, but you're missing the whole point of what's going on. And ultimately, if the Taurean is an evolving person, a developed person, an intelligent person, an aspiring person, that's not what they're all about. And it actually works against the grain of what's trying to happen, because Taurus is not stagnant. It's unfolding and moving. It's just a little more subtle than a lot of people may typically recognize. Okay, my friends, I hope that helps. God bless. Namaste.